Okay, let's say you've got a project that involves a microprocessor such as the PIC or the ATmega, and you've also are using the ESP32 for the wireless communication like cloud or Bluetooth. And like me, you really like having the UART ability between the chip or your project and your computer, so you can troubleshoot what it's doing and maybe do some tuning and then reprogramming and adjusting like that. But it's not easy to keep your project plugged into your computer and communicating Wi-Fi if it's supposed to be moving around or you want to do some testing that's outside of your office, right? Um, or you just simply don't have the ability to. Like, I don't know if the Snap programmer even does UART. Either way, I'm going to show you how to do UART over Bluetooth without too much trouble. So, like, here's some chips for PIC18. Here's some dev kits for the ESP32. I've got, I think, all of these. The one I picked out is the ESPW Room 32. Yeah, I don't know. If it doesn't work, I'll grab another one. So, of course, I talked about having UART between the computer and the chip is nice, but what if it was wireless, right? So wireless as in Bluetooth, because Bluetooth is right there. It's quick. You're not dealing with Wi-Fi and the cloud and connection dropping. You're just like right there in the same room, right? And Bluetooth is a little complicated and a little simplified all at once. So they've got the BLE kind of broken up into these GAT profiles, generic attribute profile. And so you'll define a profile, a service, and characteristics within it. Well, Nordic saw that and they were like, look, let's just define a certain way of setting up UART. So we'll use this UUID and these UIDs for the RX and the TX. And then we'll set up one for write, one for read or notify, and then it'll just work, right? Um, and it does. So they made an app that you can download on either iOS or Android. And it has a few features, including the UART screen, and then Adafruit made an app called Bluefruit Connect, and this is also on iOS and Android. So that's nice because nobody's got time to make an app, right? Like it, you think it's easy, and then you're like a week into it, and you haven't even worked on your actual project, which is the case on one of mine. So I imagine you use a MicroPython for the ESP. It's I don't know, it's really smooth. It's an operating system. You can run multiple things and it just kind of runs in the background. You're not really having to directly control every little thing that's happening on it. It just sort of works. So I'll be downloading the bin and installing the MicroPython on my chip. But you'll see they have a Bluetooth section and they kind of go over what all the Bluetooth commands are. And what I'm going to show you is they also have a GitHub where they have examples, and one of them happens to be that Nordic UART service. So you'll just need this one, BLE UART peripheral. Let me click on it. And it imports from BLE advertising. So if you go back one screen, you'll need this one called BLE advertising. And then I'm going to run that example here in a second. So I've installed MicroPython on my ESP. And now I should see there, MicroPython, and then the three little carets signifying that it's connected. I'm sure there's some commands, I forget. Okay, yeah, that works. It's communicating. So I'm going to grab those two files and try to run them now. All right, so you could like go into this file on the web page and like copy the code and then name the file the same thing or whatnot, but I'm gonna go and just hit the download from the main page of this project. I'm also going to run a little test. So let's say I want to upload a boot and a main file, which is kind of how the MicroPython system is set up. So let's just say, can I say print? This will be boot. So once this file runs, it will be, can I name it? Okay. It'll be it'll be printing out the word boot. I'll just put it here. It's fine. Boot.py. And then I want to put that on my ESP, so how would I do that? Here we go. Yeah, sure. Now make another file. I'm going to call that one main. And I'm going to say, hey, when the main runs, just say print main. Or actually, before I do that, let's get that example in here as well. So I think there's a reset switch on the device itself. Let's try. There it is. Oh, there's my little boot text right in there. Cool. So, wow, it's really still unzipping. My computer is taking a while. Okay, I just ended up pulling those two files out. So, let's get those in here. Oh, let's go. Oh, this was a little bit different than I thought it was going to be. Alright, so here's my two files. I'm going to upload the advertising one. Alright, we got the advertising file on there and the peripheral. So if you look in the peripheral code though, it's got a section in here where it says if name is equal to main, then run the demo function. So that will run if this file is called main. So I'm just gonna do that. And then we can just run a quick test without doing any coding. Not yet. I don't know how to change the name. Maybe just save as. Or let's do it like that. Save as MicroPython device. And we'll change the name to main, right? Yeah. Is it gonna load? Oh, maybe I did the wrong one. Oh, right. Peripheral, save as. Wait. Yeah, okay. So now the BLE UART peripheral is called main on the MicroPython device. So let's give it a run. I'm gonna reboot it with the button on the board, and then I'm gonna get that app loaded and connected. Alright, I think I figured it out. So you'll want to, I think it's named MPYUART in here. I don't need this to be like up against it. So yeah, it is that MPYUART. So how do I disconnect? Do I just close it? I believe that filter by UUID isn't working because in the test code they aren't advertising the UUID. Like you have to set up what you're advertising in a BLE device, like the name or other just things or just free data that you don't have to connect to obtain. So we'll click on that, and then I'm gonna go to logs. So this screen is set up so you can actually set up buttons. So you press a button and then it sends a certain string. So you could set up your own little like keypad or control pad. So in the logs, I can see that I'm receiving these numbers, and that correlates to the test code. They have it, I think, counting up or something. Yeah, right here, 4, 8, 15, 16, 30, or 23, 42. Cool. And then I might as well just go through the other app before I get any further. On the Adafruit app, like I said, I don't think we can filter because it's not advertising correctly. But on here, it's called the ESP32. It's just it's using a different piece of data to show the names on this app. UART, and then there's just the regular UART strings in there. Not all the, oh, you probably can't see that too well. Anyways. So great, right? But what if you have like your own program you need to be running in the main loop or just through other files, and this needs to run on the side? I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to change the main loop to something just so basic. Oh, it's not loading because it's busy. I'm just going to hit reset on here. Yeah, I think the Bluetooth has taken over. It's like stuck in that test loop now. So I'll just make a new main file and try to overwrite it. Let's see, print main. I don't know if you knew this, but in Python, they don't care if you put single quotes or double quotes. They both work. I'm going to save this as main. And I want to upload that. I need to get a good connection. Let's see, how did I do this last time? Reset. What's this other button do? Alright. It's going to be finicky. I think I got this to interrupt it. I clicked upload knowing it wasn't connected. And then maybe I pressed the reset. Cancel. It's when it gets stuck in a command, this can happen. Alright, so it just interrupted what it was doing. And then I'm going to try to upload it again. Now if I open... Oh, okay, still mad. Alright, let's do a little test. Yep, okay, so we're not frozen. I still can't load this file. Alright then. Let's just boot it and see if it does boot and then main. Yeah, boot main, so those are my two. So now I know I'm blanked out again. I'm going to upload that other file that I need. I'm going to run it on the side, this time without the test code. Yep. Alright. Still getting fun errors. I'm sure it's fine. Alright. Alright, let's have a look at what the peripheral example actually does. So here's a loop. We're not going to worry too much about that or the closing of it, because we should never close. It's just going to run until it's turned off, right? So up here they import time, they define this object and then this object. I don't want to call this UART, I would call it BLE UART, so you don't get it confused with the UART that's actually wired up to the other chip. So I'm going to copy that. This is cool too, let's do this. This on RX, and then it sets the handler to that function right here, so that's good. I don't know why they grouped it like that. Alright, so I'm going to take that, and I'm not going to save any of that, and I'm going to put it in my main loop and see if we can get it to work. It's not going to work right out of the box, so we're going to have to, I think, make some edits, but we can get there. So I've got my main file open, and it would be nice if we just loaded our Bluetooth with like an import and then that file name. BLE UART peripheral. It'd be nice if this just worked. I think there's going to be some errors, but let's just upload it and find out. So it should just run the BLE UART peripheral without the demo function, because it's not called main anymore. This is our main, so it'll ignore that section. Oh, right, I was going to rename this BLE UART. Oops. Okay, let's do that again. And reset. And we got an error. Bluetooth isn't defined, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So when you do an import, it kind of runs in its own little shell. So it defined that stuff, but it's like under the shell of that file name now. So I think if we do it like, call it like this every time, it should work. Oh, we could have shortened the name, but that's okay. Let's see if this works. And reset. All right. Oh, more errors. Module object has no attribute BLE UART. Okay, wait, back up. I think I screwed up here. Yeah. Let's try this. There we go. No errors. So supposedly we loaded our Bluetooth and we set up a handler for receiving information. And if we do receive anything, it should just print it right down here. So let me open the phone app and we'll see if it works. Let's do the Blue Fruit one because it's a little more basic. Let's see. We're no longer receiving those random numbers because we're not in like that loop from the demo code. I'm gonna put hi, and yep, I sent hi on the phone and I received it on the computer. Very nice. So that's cool for, let's see, I guess a case would be you want to communicate something to your device with UART, like with your phone, like, oh, I want to change a setting. So maybe you set it up so if you receive something called like speed equals or colon 9, like maybe your code parses that string and says, oh, I should set the speed to 9. Or maybe you got a PID loop and you need to tune your PID constants or whatever. So the next thing is, okay, well, what if I want to incorporate this into my Wi-Fi MQTT cloud code? We're just going to use kind of this, what we did here, and then how do we print commands out? We'll just check out the example in the demo function. They just had something like UART write. So we can do that too. But ours isn't called UART, ours is called BLE UART. So it's something like this. I'm just going to put it in here and comment it out to save it. Whoa. Alright. Oh, that's not how do you comment stuff in this? Oh, there we go. £. Okay. Okay, to be sure that I'm starting from basically scratch, I'm going to download the MQTT code given to us on the assignments. And what's in this boot file? I want to make sure I'm not missing anything there. Oh, maybe not the best place for that. Okay, so from the example code, they just have it running the async MQTT URL file right from the boot file. And I think, I don't even know if it has a main file. So let's look at all this stuff. try to put it in a folder and now I can't find anything. There we go. So I know what the boot does. Let's look at the setup code. Oh, choose your Wi-Fi information. And I don't know, do we have to run this every time or just once? I guess just once. Let's see. Yeah, we'll find out. So I'll upload that. And I'm gonna upload this asynchronous MQTT thing after I take a look. Oh, so then we give it our Wi-Fi information again. What's the deal? Okay, anyways. I'm gonna put in some of my own stuff here so we can test this too. Because one of the things is, wouldn't it be cool if maybe we were having MQTT communication issues, if we can just see every incoming and outgoing message just over Bluetooth right next to the device? Like what it's actually getting, you know. Alright, so I've got my MQTT topic and my Wi-Fi in here again, and let's just do a test and see if we can start the MQTT. I'll go back in there. So does it loop down here? Yeah, I think it does. While true. Okay, I think it sits right here when it's running. We'll see. So let's upload that. And then we got to call it. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to call it after all that Bluetooth stuff. I'll say just import. And there isn't just one way to do something. Like there's plenty of ways to arrange this whole setup. So this is just one way of doing it. And now I need to upload that. I assume that worked. Let's hit stop. Oh geez, we're doing this. Okay, and then I'm gonna upload this. I think it was in the main file like running, so I wouldn't overwrite it or read it for that matter. Okay, so let's try the MQTT. Make sure that works before we start modifying the code. I'm gonna hit reset, and I think it has a ton of little messages down here. Oh great. Oh, did I screw that up? I wonder if this is a library we don't have and that this ESP32 setup is what installs it. So I'm going to run that just from the command line. Let's see, it connected to my phone and then gave up somewhere. No module named logging. Okay. Alright, cutscene. I put that command in the boot file and it seemed to do just fine installing that library this time. So then it went on installing it, and then you see down here it just randomly says main. That's where I had print main in my main file, and then it ran the rest of the stuff that's in main, which was the Bluetooth setup, and then it starts the asynchronous MQTT. So finally, let's test that. I have a phone app for that. It's called MQT Tool, and I know you can't see this because the resolution's miserable, but so we'll connect to our server name, and I'm going to be Team TA, and I'm just going to hit connect, and I am connected, and then I'm going to publish a hello to my my name. I think that's what it's set to. And there we go. I get hello on the shell. Great, right? So, but I want to be able to get these messages and all this stuff over Bluetooth while I'm not connected to the computer, just connected via a battery or a power plug or whatnot. So let's figure out how to do that. I'm going to comment out this ESP32 setup. I feel like once it runs once, it doesn't need to run again. So I'll save and then I'll upload. Well, it's in the middle of a thing, so I gotta kill that. And we're gonna be. Are we gonna do this again? Okay, I'm just gonna hit upload and see what happens. I think it'll throw an error and then it'll stop. Yeah. now I get the command line and I can see all the files. And we got a little library now. Finally, re-upload my boot. And then I'm gonna look in the async file. Where does it print to the screen? Okay, so here's where it writes over the UART pins to the other chip. Oh, print callback. Oh, that is callback, blah, blah, yeah. So let's... We need to bring our Bluetooth setup into this file. So what if... So that we can run Bluetooth commands in here. What if we drag all this Bluetooth setup out of here? I'm going to squish it down. Oh, man, this is my note. Out of the main and just up above all the MQTT stuff so it gets running before it's too late. Save. I'm going to upload my main before I forget. And now we're in here. So let's try to put a write command in here. I assume this takes strings, not just characters. And I'm going to put it in here. Message, is that a... Well, let's find out. Whoops. We're going to put message in this write function. And just see if it, you know, sends a message over Bluetooth whenever it gets an MQTT. Just a quick test. Upload that. Ooh, how am I going to do this? Because I only have the phone, can't do everything. So let's reboot the device. No issues. And, oh, well, I gotta open my phone to allow the Wi-Fi. There we go. And this time, I'm gonna have Bluetooth on my phone and I'll do MQTT on the computer. Okay. UART. Now I need to find a MQTT app. So I'm going to use this extension called MQTT Lens. It's an extension of Chrome. And I think I can just... It's like a weird side running thing. So, okay, so... Are we going to load? Yes. Maybe. Real slow. Come on now. Okay. Name it. And then I'm gonna cutscene this. Okay, here's all the info I needed. Need the website. Port should be that. I'm gonna leave it. I don't know what that is. Create, I'm guessing. Okay, and then my topic for both topics. And then, yeah, I'm gonna publish something. Wait, oh, that's the subscribe topic. This is the publish topic, I see. So I'm just gonna say testing. So if that works, I should see it still on the... oh yeah, down here in the shell. But I also should see it on Bluetooth, which is what we're aiming for. Publish. Okay, I got it in the shell. Oh, yep, there it is. Where's my cam? I was gonna say, there it is. Yeah, you can kind of see testing. It's there. So yeah, for sure, we got Bluetooth working there. Now the next thing I would do is, you don't want to just see, what you're receiving over MQTT. What's even better would be to get information off of your PIC. So whatever your PIC's sending over here, I mean, you can filter it out too. You can say, in the ESP32, you can have it so, oh, well, messages starting with Z don't get posted to MQTT. Those are just informative Bluetooth UARTs I want to see on my phone. And that's just an easy thing to parse. But we're just going to take everything we receive over UART and print that into the Bluetooth message so that we can just use it as an example. So where it reads UART messages? All right, looks like something about this receiver. I'm not super sure. Let's see. While true. Oh, really? It must be a. Anyways, let's. B equals B. Huh. Let's just put it next to this print, and let's just print P. Why not? If it works, it works. We might need to put string in front of that, because that looks like a byte. I don't know if this works. I don't know, winging it. Let's see, upload that. Oh, we're stuck in a loop, so it's going to error out. Alright, back to the shell. And I'll try again. Yeah, okay, and then reboot the ESP, let it connect to my internet. Alright, I had a tough time regaining control, so I ended up disconnecting the wires I had in between these two boards, and I reflashed the whole device. So I'm going to add a little sleep timer in the beginning of each of these files because I feel like that would allow me to stop execution before it gets to the Wi-Fi stuff, which is I think that's where it's getting kind of taken over. So I threw that in the boot file, and I'm going to put it in the main file. Why not? Okay. And I'm going to do a little print right there. And then let's upload all this stuff. Yeah. Oh, and one thing we'll have to do is rerun the setup. All right. Oh, Wi-Fi. We'll cutscene this. All right, cutscene. I've been having issues connecting to the ESP. As you can see, I click this, and it just doesn't want to go. Well, now it's currently because I'm connected to this. So let me back up. So it won't connect, right? See the lines, it's just not loading. So I hit disconnect on here, and then I open it up in MobaTerm, which for some reason seems to work better. And I quickly hit Control-C to kill the current code, and it works. So then I import OS, and I know that the code's all running from the main. We don't have anything in the boot. So I'm going to do os.remove main, and then we can just re-upload it afterward. And then no errors, so it should have worked. So I'm just going to close that and then reboot the ESP, and I'm going to attempt to reconnect. There we go. See, main's missing now. I was just messing around with the simple UART echo. I ended up realizing I was running my other chip at 11.5200, so I'm going to change it to that and upload that. And I've got that in my main file. It's just simple right there. So I'll re-upload the main, and then I'll reboot again. There's boot. And then main. And I have that other chip, it's just every 2 seconds printing 1, 2, 3. So that's what I'm trying to receive at the ESP. So I'll go back to MobaTerm and I'll connect to that other chip. I'm using an AT Mega. 1, 2, 3. And it seems like we received 1, 2, 3 down here as bytes. Or not bytes, binary. That's not good. And I think it crashed. So let's look into that. Okay. So I was messing around and I said, if you look at the screen down here, I got the REPL. I got B equals bytes T. So I can kind of recreate what we were getting earlier. So now if I press B, I get like the B T thing. So then I said, okay, help B, and then this comes up and it gives you some functions that are built into the bytes objects. And I see one that's called decode. So then I try to run that one, B decode, and it just gives me the character. So I'm going to put that in there. And I also found that my other chip wasn't prepared to receive any UART data, so I commented that out. Now, if I upload that and I reboot, so I'm receiving 1, 2, 3 every 2 seconds at the ESP. And just for tests, yeah, actually that's fine. So now we're wondering, okay, as we're receiving data from your other chip to the ESP, we want it to go to the MQTT and we want it to print to the Bluetooth. So let's go back to that file. Oh, not this. Async. Yeah, it's the async one. So down in here, we're publishing everything you get from B. So stream reader, all this. We want to just print that. Let's go ahead and test that before we get crazy here. Alright. I found that I forgot to change my baud rate again. And I realized that it's going to wait until it receives the return character. And then it was also freezing my other chip because my other chip's not prepared to receive UART. So, saved that. In my other code, I added a return character. And I found if I'm in here and it's not too frozen, I can hit Control-C. I don't know. I thought I tried that earlier. So I'm going to re-upload this. And I'm going to change this to 1 second. I feel like I've gotten out of that issue. And let's finally take a quick look here. Yeah. So I'm going to hit reboot on that. But while that's rebooting, I'm going to start adding the Bluetooth code. I think it was just, yeah, BLE UART right. So let's see if we can't do that. Oh, let me reset my other chip. See how it's just waiting? And then, yep, there's 1, 2, 3. And it's publishing the whole byte object format. So I'm going to try. Do you think I can do B dot? What was it? Decode? I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, let's try that. Looks like it froze again, but that's okay. Reset everything again. And this time, I'm interested to see if I get it on Bluetooth. Oh shoot, I'm getting 1, 2, 3s like crazy. Alright. And I think it froze. But that's okay. Might have something to do with the baud rate is too fast, or the code is just not refined, or you know. So cool. Now we're able to get these 1, 2, 3s from our main chip. Well, from our ESP Bluetooth module, but that's actually coming from the main chip. So I hope you guys can see the usefulness of this. Let's see, what would I do? If I were to continue somewhere in here, yeah, right after this line, I would decipher whether or not it was something I wanted to go to MQTT and publish, or just some information I wanted to go to BLE alone. And I would also do whatever the equivalent is of the sprintf function, if you remember that from C. Or I don't know if you can just do like the plus sign in Python. Either way, I would add like whether this came from, or if this was published or not, or if this was just informative. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do here. But hopefully that gets you started if this is something you are interested in implementing. Thanks.